Really, it's pretty unique. Like, I don't want to like toot your horn or anything, but I will. You know what? That's a creepy way to say that.
I will let you do whatever it is you need to do to my horn. That's cool with me.
Gross.
You're my friend. I'll take one for the
We
team
love
for
each
you.
other.
Hi everyone, welcome to Behind the Booth. I'm Jade, and with me as always is my co-host and award-winning producer, Heather.
And on this channel, we talk about wild stories from Comic-Con vendors, and we have a lot of Comic-Cons coming up. How about, I think probably June will be the ones coming up, and we have so many. I know there's some in Denver, or one in Denver, Fan Expo Denver, which I'm super
Yes.
excited about because that is our home state. So like we're excited to be closer to home. But what else do we have going on in June?
June, we have Duke City Comic Con in Albuquerque. We have, I want to say Philadelphia, and I'm certain I'm missing one that's going to be amazing, but it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And we would love to meet you guys. So please come find us at the Tokyo Dog Designs booth. It's bright and colorful. And once you find it, then you'll be able to find it other places because it's pretty unique. Like, I don't want to like toot your horn or anything, but I will. You know what? That's a creepy way to say that.
I will let you do whatever it is you need to do to my horn. That's cool with me.
Gross.
You're my friend. I'll take one for the
We
team
love
for
each
you.
other. It's all right. Yeah. But please come meet us. We would love to meet you guys and talk to you in person because I know we have so many adoring fans out there. We just want to meet you.
Is
Um,
it four? We have four fans.
and they're like, yay!
Everyone starts somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. But today we are actually talking about the time that Jade got to meet the Unity flag designer, which is really exciting because that's something that I have really just gotten into. I didn't know how much I didn't know about this world. And working with Jade and her booth, if you come see her booth, you will see what I'm talking about. She has every flag on there that she knows about and is able to find and everything. But she was able to meet this designer. So Jade, take it away.
Okay, so I will put this out there. I don't really get starstruck. I see celebrities all the time. I've talked to several of them. I don't have that feeling of like, oh my God, you're so and so. That just has never happened to me. I think the only person that would be Henry Cavill, which I might have mentioned before on this channel, because he's a lot of things that I like, but we won't talk about him today. But what I did actually meet was the username that I'm familiar with, how I was introduced to them, was Daniel Quasar. And for those of you who know who that is, you can see why I'm so excited. This person designed the Unity Pride flag. And that flag is one that has been designed in order to encompass everyone within the community. So it's not the traditional Pride flag where you think about the rainbow colors. It has that, and then it has like a triangular cutout that includes other stripes that have their own meanings, and they're very important meanings, and they all are very inclusive. So it's not, a lot of the communities out there have their own flags and have their own communities, but there's this kind of brought in community on top of it. And the best thing that I can say that it's like is like having a state flag, and then but we're all underneath the United States flag. So
Unity.
yeah, unity. I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's very important. And this design is really impactful. So I was talking to somebody, and I get these questions all the time. Now, I've probably mentioned before that I am an ally. I'm also a sapiosexual. If you do not know what that is, it is somebody who's attracted to people of intelligence and very specific types of intelligence before any other feature is considered. So that can be attractiveness, if you're attracted to certain body types, if you're like a blue eyes person, or if you want, somebody has a lot of money, whatever your attractiveness things are, or gender, or whatever it happens to be. For sapiosexuals, it's intelligence first. So technically I'm within the community, but I am married to a man who identifies as a man and who is straight. So I am an ally technically, but I have learned a lot about the different flags. I get quizzed on them all the time by people that don't know, that want to know more. I do my best. I do have Google there ready to like help me out to make sure I'm using the right verbiage. But there's a lot of diversity, which is outstanding. And not everyone's going to fit into a box, which is why there's so much variety out there for you to find who you are and to find others that can identify with you. Mm-hmm. Somebody had asked me a question that I did not have a great way of answering. And this person is standing there and they basically help me answer the rest of the question. So we're kind of talking about it. It is a little bit political, so I don't want to bring that up necessarily on this channel because it is political within the community. And I don't want anyone to feel like I'm taking sides. So we kind of addressed this thing. Basically, a flag that was designed a long time ago was changed because the person that designed it had said some very not okay things within the community about other community members. So that flag was disbanded. They redesigned it. That was the conversation. And this person was looking at all my stuff. He was like, I'm sorry. This person was looking at all my stuff, and Z was like, wow, you did some really great work here with the Unity flag. I said, oh, thank you. It's my favorite flag. And Z was like, really? I said, yeah, I really love this design. And one of the designs that I actually did, for those of you who are watching the video, is I turned them into little glow-in-the-dark bracelets that I put our little like bats and birds and butterflies on. But this is their design. And we'll also post like, I guess, videos or something of this on.
Yeah.
So I really don't know how to describe this like, to the listeners. I'm really not good at this. I'm so sorry. And Z said to me, he's like, well, that was my design. I designed that flag. And I looked at them and I was like, are you kidding? Like, what? I never knew who actually designed. I'd seen the name before, but I've never seen the person. And Z was like, yeah, that's me. That is my design. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, it is such an honor to meet you. And I immediately felt what all these people talk about with feeling starstruck, with that you lose your breath and your heart feels like it's just stopping. And your eyes, I'm sure, I mean, mine are big anyways, but they get like super wide and you don't know what to say. Like your mind goes blank. And that's just what happened to me. I was like, hi, it's so nice to meet you. And Z was telling me that it was really great how I integrated all these things. And Z said that I had one of the most complete, I guess, collections, yeah, of as many as that I was aware of. And when people ask for a specific one that I don't have, I will then add it to my options as well. I try to make everyone as inclusive as possible. And Z bought a bunch of my bracelets and a few of my pins and things. And I was like, you can have it. Like, I don't give things away at my booth, because if you do that, then you can't afford to be there, right? Like we have to be paid for our work. But it was such an honor to meet them that I was like, here, take it, take whatever you want. And Z was like, no, that's okay. I'll pay for it. He's like, how much do I owe you? And I was like, I'll give you a discount. It's like, I didn't want them to pay for it. I didn't want them to pay for anything. I just wanted them to have it because they had inspired me. Yeah. And he's like, no, you need to be a paid artist. And so they just gave me like a 20 and I was like, oh, okay. And I figured out what the change was. I couldn't even, I can't do math anyways, but I couldn't even get the numbers right. I was like, okay, what is 20 subtracted by 14?
And I was not there to help her either.
No, Heather is my backup calculator brain. And I couldn't even remember where the app was on my phone. No. For finding out the calculation of what I needed. Like I could not think. I was so like, I didn't cry, but I could definitely see how that was a possibility of crying.
Yeah.
And I had heard of this person and then meeting them at a tiny convention in Portland. I never would have thought that I was going to meet Daniel Quasar. And I didn't know what the pronouns were for this person. So I just went with the backup of they, them. Mm-hmm. And then I was educated by this person on Zay. I believe I'm pronouncing it Zay or Z, because, it depends on who, how you're pronouncing your letters, depending on what part of the world you're in. And I was like, I will do my best. I'm going to fuck this up. I know I am. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to really try, because I had never heard of that pronoun before. Mm-hmm. So I got this great education. I got to talk to this person for like 20 minutes and there was no one else around my booth. And I was like, do you want to sit with me? Like, do you want to be my friend? I could not believe it. And it's been such an honor to meet such an inspirational artist that has literally brought communities together. So that's really what it's about. And that they did it with just such a beautiful design. And just, I have no words. Like even now, I got nothing. Just remembering the moment, I'm like, that's all I
And guys,
got.
yeah, she really doesn't get starstruck like this. She doesn't, get flustered basically ever. You don't see
No.
it anyway.
Mm-mm.
And like, just you explaining to me that you're going to be telling this story, you're just like, oh, it's so cool. I'm like, awesome.
Mhm.
I had no idea who they were, but I'm so excited that that happened. And like, I think I've told this story a little bit before, but you do have so much inclusion on the pins that you have, and it's
Mhm.
really inspiring. And I love having people come up to your booth and being like, oh my gosh, nobody ever has this pin. Nobody ever has these colors. Nobody ever has this. And
Yeah.
like a lot of them will even cry. They'll just
Mhm.
feel
I've had
so
them cry.
seen. And it's such a beautiful thing. And so to be able to meet one of the influential people of that whole movement is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really hug. I think we've talked about this on this channel before. I'm not really touchy-feely,
Yes, if you
but
come to meet us, you can hug me. Don't hug Jade.
yes, do not hug me. And it's not like I can say hug the brunette because we're both brunettes. So
Mm.
hug Heather. She's got a very huggable face. I do not. So, but I've had, I will call them kids, teenagers that will just start crying because they'll be like, it's me. And then they'll start crying. And I was like, honey, what's wrong? I was like, what's going on? Because I mean, for me, tears need to be a certain thing, like broken, bleeding, somebody died. Like that's usually where tears come from. It's not healthy, by
A
the
dog
way.
in pain, that puts you in tears.
Oh
That's a
God,
whole other story. That's a whole other story. We'll get
that
there
got
somewhere.
me. Yeah, I probably cried just thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, and it definitely feel things, definitely cry. That is a healthy thing to do. I am not healthy. I was not raised with that. So, but feel your feelings. And I was like, talking to this kid, I was like, honey, what's wrong? And they're like, I'm so afraid to wear any pride stuff because I haven't come out to my family, but you have this heart that are my pan colors and I'll know who I am and other people who are pan will know who I am and I actually get to show who I am. And I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So like, can I have a hug? And I was like, okay. I didn't know what to do. Like, I mean, I had no way. Gosh, I'm actually getting upset now. I had no way to figure out what they needed. So I just kind of like held them. And when people cry and there's no sound coming out, they're just bouncing. And that's what was happening. And I'm like, okay. And I had cookies and I was like, do you want a cookie? Like cookies make me feel better. Like, and they paid me and I wanted them just to have it. And they're like, no, I have to pay you so you can change someone else's life and keep making stuff. And I was just like
Yeah.
stab me in the heart kind of thing. It was just,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure my eyes, those of you who are watching this, are just like massive right now because it was so overwhelming for me. But then I gave them a cookie and they went off with their day. And it's really kind of shocking sometimes
Mhm.
what art can do for people and how alone people feel. And
Yeah.
that when they realize they're not, it's amazing. So if
Yeah.
you can be a part of the community, if you are an ally, if you are somebody that is feeling unheard or unloved, just check out our social media. You're going to see so many other people that are either allies or other people like you, and that they're welcome and supported and safe
Yep.
with us.
Yep. And the thing about Jade's pins also is that they're in the shape of a flower. They have the
Yeah.
colors. They're in the shape of a flower. They don't like if you like that person that came up, if you can see it on the video, there it is. Like the person that came up, if you're not sure if people will accept you if you're wearing your colors, they're not necessarily, they're just pretty flower pins. And
Yeah.
you can show and be who you are and not have to worry about people who don't understand it judging you because they might just be like, oh, that's a pretty flower. And you're like, well, thank you.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, and by the way, they're also made with magnets so they don't put holes in your clothes. Like they're the coolest
Yeah.
things ever. But also it's a wonderful thing.
I made them so they wouldn't damage cosplay or clothing or anything like that, and that they would stick with you. And I am very proud to say that I sell as many ally pins as I do other flag pins, which is very important.
Mhm.
Just because certain people aren't within the community doesn't mean that you don't have support.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of support out there and a lot of love. So if you ever see somebody with an ally, anything, you can at least know that you're safe with them. You can talk to them, or that you just know that for all the hate that there is out there, that there is an opposite reaction to that hate, which is love.
Mm-hmm. So just remember, if you do come to our booth, because like I said, we would love to meet you all, you are completely safe there. I am also an ally. Sometimes I wear the pin just because I forget my freaking wedding ring, like, I just forget everything. But I am an ally, and you are always safe with us. And Daniel Quasar, if you would love to come by our booth again, I would love to meet you as well.
A special thank you to Nerdy Girl Podcast for sponsoring this episode. We will see you next time.